It appears Elon Musk has decided to stop pulling his punches, and with it, we can see that what's going on now, the nature of how his rhetoric is shifting, how openly he's talking, it's very clear Elon was hiding his power levels prior, and with it, he is talking so openly now on Twitter, and what do we see from this? We can see that he's openly attacking the ADL and addressing so many of the companies that were claiming that they were going to boycott Twitter and not put ads on the website anymore, and his whole entire point was go F yourself. Fine. You want to go ahead and do this? I'm not going to bite my tongue anymore. Go F yourself. Let's go ahead and get into this. I find this unbelievably interesting because of the nature of what led to this, why this is happening. This all starts with the narrative around the Israel-Palestine conflict and Elon Musk talking about how the ADL actually handles conflicts within the U.S. when it comes to the nature of disseminating anti-white racism and all of that other different stuff that they love to push, which I find interesting because Elon Musk openly talking about this has firmly placed him in the crosshair of so many of these advertisers, and with it, they're actively trying to kill Twitter now. And what did he say? He said, fine, yeah, you will kill Twitter, but how will Earth feel about that? How will humanity feel about the fact of seeing you, the people who were in charge, you were the ones who specifically attacked free speech and intentionally killed it? How will Earth feel? And that's a fantastic question. Let's go ahead and get into this video. This was the beginning of the attempted cancellation of Elon Musk. It was his response to the tweet that I'm about to read. What I find so incredibly interesting about this is the nature of how the media used to love Elon Musk. He was the man of mystery who was going to save humanity. He was the man who was building electric vehicles so we could detach ourselves from fossil fuels. He's building returnable rockets so we could have cheaper space travel. He's trying to put us on Mars. He's the man of mystery. And now what? All because he wants a free speech platform for people to actually be able to commune and have open dialogue without restriction and censorship. What do we see? We see that, well, Elon Musk is now the person who's been placed within the crosshairs of the corporate press. This is the tweet that started it all. Charles Weber says, to the cowards hiding behind the anonymity of the internet and posting Hitler was right, you got something you want to say, why don't you say it to our faces? And Elon responds to the artist formerly known as Eric, and this is what really does him in. Here we see Eric says, okay, Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. I'm deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest shit now about Western Jewish populations coming to the disturbing realization that those hordes of minorities that support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. You want the truth said to your face, there it is. And Elon Musk says, you have said the actual truth. The ADL unjustly attacks the majority of the West despite the majority of the West supporting the Jewish people in Israel. This is because they cannot, by their own tenets, criticize the minority groups who are their primary threat. It is not right and it needs to stop. Someone responds saying, yes, but this is not fair to say or truthful to say that Jewish communities promote dialectical hatred towards whites, which is true. They don't. Say what you want about the ADL, but don't generalize the Jewish community. And Elon Musk responds, you're right, this does not extend to all Jewish communities, but it also is not just limited to the ADL. And this is what got Elon Musk thrown straight into the hot seat, and within days we see he posts this. And this is talking about a thermonuclear lawsuit going after companies like Media Matters, like the ADL, and everyone who's colluded in the fraudulent attack on free speech that is going to focus on Twitter to make sure that there's an advertiser boycott. Elon Musk isn't pulling his punches anymore. And with it, we can see that his hyperfixation from his autism that was so focused on building electric cars, that was so focused on getting to Mars, well, it's now focused on free speech. And you're not going to take this bone away from him. He is undoubtedly a dog with a bone, and when you do so, he's going to react violently. Now, what do we see here from ALX on Twitter? Breaking Elon Musk to advertisers trying to blackmail X into censorship. Go fuck yourself. This clip is fantastic, and with it, everyone's just absolutely blowing up about how Elon Musk is either unhinged, that being that of the progressive left-wing perspective, or Elon Musk being unfathomably based, that being more of the independent and right-wing perspective. I'm going to be honest, Elon Musk openly coming out and saying, you know what, fine, you want to go ahead and attack free speech? Fuck you. Let's see how the world reacts to you doing so. Man, that is a power move, and with it, I thought it was just genuinely fantastic. Let's go ahead and jump into this clip of Elon Musk.
Obviously, you know that there's a public perception that, and you're clarifying this now, but there's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
But
go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about the economics of X? If part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising. If you believe that this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
F-Y.
I understand that, but there's a reality too, right?
Yes. No.
I mean, Linda
no,
Yaccarino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
Absolutely. So, no, totally. No. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do? It's going to kill the company.
And do you think that
and the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
But those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say, we didn't kill the company.
Oh yeah.
They're going to say,
tell it to Earth.
But they're going to say, Elon, that you killed the company because you said these things, and that they were inappropriate things, and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform, right? That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
Elon Musk, like I said, not pulling his punches, and with it, he's thrown off the gloves and he's not holding anything back. And immediately he goes out stating the fact that the people of Earth will know what you did. They will know. There is no hiding this. Fine, you want to kill the company, you want to use this advertiser boycott to attack Twitter, fine. They'll know what you did, and they'll know exactly why you did it, and you will be held to a higher standard. And the higher standard you will be held to will only get higher and higher and higher until the moment you fall from it, it will be detrimental, and with it, it will be fatal. That is a guarantee. And the one thing that I think Elon Musk really understands that the people in the establishment don't is that you're toying with the people who do play for keeps, that will play the long game, that are operating on the moral lens rather than the amoral structure of the political game. And with that, when you finally get these people, the ones who were doing what was right and what's just, to step over that line, there is no turning back. You're not getting them to take their foot off the pedal. And that is something that the establishment really needs to come to an understanding of, because I fear that there may be a major backlash when it comes to the nature of politics, and you can think about this just akin to blowback and how that works. So what I find so fascinating about that specifically is the fact that everything that happens with blowback, and you look at this with politics in the Middle East and everything that happened with our involvement and that ended up leading to things like 9/11, well, blowback exists everywhere. And it's just a matter of fact, it's just the nature of how everything works in humanity, and it's just how the world works. For every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And what do we see? We see that the equal and opposite reaction to you openly targeting the free speech apparatus of the world is going to be something that I would argue people will not stand for. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people have been pacified to a point where they have no capacity to truly activate their revolutionary spirit. But the thing is, I'd argue that's wrong. Because what I've seen, and this is something that I think people who really come from my school of thought understand, and it's a quote that rings true in my mind, and something that Ron Paul used to say: there is no stopping an idea whose time has come. And with it, I think that's just about exactly where we are. Now let's go ahead and read this. It says, this is what Elon Musk said: the split-second court opens on Monday. X Corp will be filing a thermonuclear lawsuit against Media Matters and all those who collude in their fraudulent attack on our company. Their board, their donors, their network of dark money, all of them. Man, that is a major threat. We're going after your network of dark money, and with it, that means we're going to shine a light on all of the nefarious actions of all of the funding that you've been pumping out to so many of these disparate organizations to control a narrative. That is a major threat to the establishment. And what do we see? The summary on all of this is X will protect the public's right to free speech and expression. We will not allow agenda-driven activists or even our own profits to deter our vision. Everyone has a choice on X. User and brand control on X is superior to a year ago. Data wins over allegations. Media Matters does not reflect the user experience on X. And that's because Media Matters has been consistently pushing out smears endlessly over and over and over again. And with it, that leads me to the fact of Michael Malice quote that the journalist class are nothing more than tobacco executives trying to peddle you poison. And with it, they will gladly sell you on something that will make you ill and destroy your viability of having an actual prosperous life, as long as it means that it sets their standards and that you are operating under the standards that they deem necessary. And now we jump into a tweet from Michael Malice. We see that someone said, well, that this one man should have so much power with so little accountability. And who is David, whatever his last name is? Presenter of BBC Radio's Fours Briefing Room, author of Voodoo Histories, now substacking with notes from the underground. So this is someone within the journalist class. This is someone who is nothing more than, I would argue, a demon. And with it, I love the rhetoric that Michael Malice always uses when he talks about the nature of what these people really are. Here we go. Your ability to destroy the lives of your betters is swiftly vanishing, and we haven't even gone on offense against you literal demons yet. And that's absolutely true. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and throw it into that other clip from Elon Musk, where Elon Musk is taking the first step of what it means to truly go on offense.
I mean, for example, even today, Elon, you tweeted this thing about George Soros. Well, I'm looking for it because I want to make sure I quote it properly. But, I mean, you know what you wrote. But you basically...
I said it reminds me of Magneto. This is like, calm down, people. This is not like made a federal case out of it.
You also... you said he wants to erode the very fabric of civilization, and Soros hates humanity. Like, when you do something like that, do you
Yeah, I think that's true. That's my opinion.
Okay, but why share it? Why share it? Especially because, I mean... Why share it when people who buy Teslas may not agree with you, advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you? Why not just say, hey, I think this. You can tell me. We can talk about it over there. You can tell your friends. But why share it widely?
I mean, this is freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say what I want.
You absolutely are. But I'm trying to understand why you do, because you have to know it's got a... It puts you in the middle of the partisan divide in the country. It makes you a lightning rod for criticism. I mean, do you like that? People today saying he's an anti-Semite. I don't think you are.
No, I'm definitely. I'm like a pro-Semite, if anything.
I believe that probably is the case.
Yes.
But why would you even introduce the idea then that would be the case?
I mean, look, we don't want to make this a George Soros interview.
No, God, no. I don't want to at all. But what I'm trying even came up though in the annual meeting. I mean, do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man. Or, I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet.
I'm reminded of the scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie.
Great movie.
Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
We need to have a conversation, my friend. You're black-pilled. Elon Musk is actively making it so there's a place for people to have real discourse removed from that of artificially constructed ideological echo chambers that ostracize specific people and thought processes from the field of debate. And with it, we can see that this is going to be one of the most influential blows to the establishment's control, because it's going to completely destroy their narrative, as it already has in real time. We can see things like community notes being unbelievably valuable. And what do we have? We have someone like Elon Musk coming to the forefront and saying no. He's sitting at this summit with all of these massive business tycoons from across the planet, and he's sitting there saying, go fuck yourself. You won't blackmail me, and with it, the people of the world will see what you tried to do, and I promise you, the people of Earth will not let you get away with it. Because Elon Musk understands that we're at a tide-turning moment, that this is a revolutionary time. And with it, something people have to come to grips with is that many of the times when you're living through revolution, It doesn't feel like it. When you're living through history, it's never something you actually understand is happening until you look back on it and realize, wow, that was something that people will look back on throughout all of human history to actually look at the fact of how we either dropped the ball or truly held strong to make sure that we could make sure our society came out on top. And that's exactly what this is. This is that pivotal moment. And what do we see? We see people like Elon Musk actively calling out this censorship regime, making sure that there's a place where you can speak your values to truth and make sure that you can speak honestly, even if you're wrong, even if what you're saying is fundamentally and entirely wrong, but you believe it in your core. You still have every right to be able to say it. Doesn't matter what your belief system is, left or right, progressive, conservative, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is that you're able to say what you want to say, removed from censorship. And the fact is, if the state is going to be the thing that's being the arbiter of the sphere of dialogue, you can guarantee they are always going to make sure that they are curtailing every piece of it to fit the narrative that gives them the most power. And that is one reason that people have to understand that government is going to be the biggest threat to the nature of what it means to truly have a free society. Well, here's the thing. With that, we have, as I've stated, the richest man in the world openly calling this out. And you're black-pilled. You spit it out and you take the fucking white pill right now. Let's get into it. Elon Musk plans thermonuclear lawsuit against Media Matters. Early Saturday morning, Elon said his social media platform X will be filing a thermonuclear lawsuit against left-leaning nonprofit Media Matters and all those who colluded for completely misrepresenting the real user experience on X. So, I use Twitter quite a bit. And from what I've seen from what Media Matters said, I've seen like basically none of this stuff. And I would argue that I am definitely on the more, let's say, radical side of Twitter, and I see none of this. This week, Media Matters for America posted a story that completely misrepresented the real user experience on X, in another attempt to undermine freedom of speech and mislead advertisers, Musk said. Media Matters shared a report Thursday that showed white nationalist and anti-Semitic conspiracy theory content next to ads for major brands like Apple, Bravo, NBC Universal, IBM, Oracle, and Xfinity Comcast. Well, what do we see? Musk outlined X has seen a number of attacks from activist groups like Media Matters and legacy media outlets who seek to undermine freedom of expression on our platform because they perceive it as a threat to their ideological narrative and of those who are their financial supporters. He said these rogue groups are trying to use their influence to attack our revenue streams by deceiving advertisers on X. Musk detailed how the Media Matters report was nothing but garbage, and here we see that right now. And here we see a tweet that Elon Musk responded to. Someone said, "Imagine being so dim and blinded by your desire to deceive that you perpetrate brazen fraud to mislead the public and are so daft that it doesn't occur to you that you are committing fraud on a tech platform which logs data and activity, aka logs to the truth, which will disprove your lies in real time." And Elon Musk says the discovery and depositions will be glorious to behold. He's absolutely right. And here's the highlighted portion. Here are the facts of Media Matters research. To manipulate the public and advertisers, Media Matters created an alternate account and curated the posts and advertising appearing on the account's timeline to misinform advertisers from their placement of their posts. These contrived experiences could be applied to any platform. Once they curated their feed, they repeatedly refreshed their timelines to find a rare instance of ads serving next to the content they chose to follow. Our logs indicate that they forced a scenario resulting in 13 times the number of ads served compared to the median ad served on an X user. Of the 5.5 billion ad impressions on X that day, less than 50 total ad impressions were served against all of the organic content featured in the Media Matters article. For one brand showcased in the article, one of its ad ran adjacent to a post 2 times, and that ad was seen in that setting by only 2 users, one of which was the author of Media Matters article. For another brand showcased in the article, 2 of its ads served adjacent to 2 posts 3 times that an ad was only seen in that setting by 1 user, the author of the Media Matters article. Media Matters article also highlights 9 posts they believe should not be allowed on X. Upon evaluating, only 1 of the 9 organic posts featured in an article violated our content policies, and we've taken action on it under our freedom of speech, not reach enforcement approach. Which I'm not a fan of freedom of speech, not reach. I think that's a total bullshit mental gymnastic loophole that you can stop people from being actually able to have influence. But with it, I also kind of understand due to the nature that you don't want violent rhetoric being something that escalates and people calling for the death of innocent people to be something that proliferates, because with that you have major consequences that can come within the real world. So that's totally understandable. I disagree with it, but I totally understand the approach. I'm not someone who's controlling one of the largest social media platforms on the planet, but nonetheless, I will say I disagree with it. I'm going to call it there. Thank you for watching if you got this far. Thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. Tell me where I'm wrong in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. Do not fall for the nature of the bullshit that the corporate press is trying to pull. Realize that it is important that we have a place where we have freedom of speech to the degree that we now have on Twitter, where you can go ahead and talk to people, not only within your own ideological echo chamber, but completely removed outside of it. And you can hear every single dissenting viewpoint from left to right, and with it, that's something that we cannot lose.